Alright, what is up guys? Losing here, and welcome to a video that I understand I already made videos on, but I want to sit down and talk about it properly because I don't think I talked about one of the other endings. I might have. And this is my thoughts on all of the Cyberpunk endings. And the reason I'm talking about this again is because because before I used to do it on like a limited time crunch. If you guys recall from my thoughts on the Temperance ending, I started the video by saying 6 minutes. That's because my phone had like limited space on there and it only had 6 minutes to record. Which means I cannot get my proper thoughts on the Temperance ending. So yeah, I haven't done all of the endings more than once. I have only done Pan Am's ending more than once because that is what I consider to be the best ending of this game. And again, that's just an opinion. Also, there are a few things. If you hear like a hint of people talking, that is the game. And two, if you guys hear like what sounds like a fan going off, is because I have a fan on in here. Because I'm paranoid right now. So I'm planning on staying up late. And the only way that I can truly stay up late is with the fan on, blowing cold air on me. Because this room gets hot as fuck. It is hotter than Kate Upton in a bikini. So, in here. So, I am going to keep that fan on. So, if you guys hear it throughout this video, hopefully it doesn't become that much of a concern. So, yeah. Sorry. I had hot chocolate earlier, so if I drink water, a lot of water just now, I've also been lacking on water, so. Alright, let's do this proper. So, I wasted about 2 minutes just talking about the opening of this video, whatever. So, and I'm not going to be including Don't Fear the Reaper or the Suicide ending because those are just easily, well, Don't Fear the Reaper is not a proper ending, it's a way to get to an ending. And the Suicide ending is just pretty straightforward, it sucks. It's the worst ending you could get. So yeah, so I'm just gonna go in random orders here. Let's start with the devil ending. This one I don't like for a few reasons. I think I mentioned this already, but it just seems unfair for everyone, and yet Arasaka comes out on top. So it benefits absolutely no one except Arasaka. That's it, or the corpos or whatever. You end up with a big hole in your head. Johnny leaves. Johnny's pissed off at you. Depending on whether you say Takamura or Hellman, you have to deal with Hellman. If you didn't save Takamura, or if you save Takamura, he's a part of Arasaka, so he gets out on top. So basically, everyone that isn't Arasaka is completely fucked in this ending. So yeah, even some of the romance options don't really come out on top. Because Judy and Pan Am get pissed. Although Judy's a bit more understanding, Pan Am ain't having any of your shit. Carrie is just a bit more lenient, and I can't remember for River. I do watch videos of these endings. That's how I know for a fact that Pan Am gets pissed off, because I've done the double ending as a female because I wanted to get back into female, because I played as a male for too long. Except now I'm totally fine with playing as a male because the female can't romance Pan Am, and I have an addiction. Alright. But yeah, I hate the fact that this also has like two different side endings. like you can either return to Earth or just become an engram. Which, if you ask me, it's better to become an engram because you're slaving away in like years upon years. Although time doesn't really travel in Mikoshi or whatever. So I'm not sure. So yeah, I definitely think this is a pretty bad one. Next is the Temperance ending, and I'm not going in order based off my favorites. I'm just going in order based off how I remember them or how I remember. This one is pretty interesting. I did mention before, if you guys watched my other Temperance video, I'm talking about the fact that I think this is a very unfair ending, and I kind of gave it some thought. I do think it's unfair if you start off by storming Arasaka Tower with Johnny, Rogue, and Wayland. Because you're still playing as Johnny. You're forcing V out of their body. V wanted their body back. V has no choice in the matter. So I'd say it's only unfair if you do it through storming Saka Tower with Johnny, you know? But otherwise, if you guys want my advice, if you want to do the Temperance ending, at least do it through Pan Am. And the reason that is because at least V has a choice to give Johnny their body. So, because Johnny won't have a say in the matter as to whether you want to keep your body or you want Johnny to take over. But by letting Johnny by agreeing to let Johnny take over your body, you're essentially allowing him to take it. So yeah, that's why I advise doing it through Pan Am. Speaking of Pan Am, highly unintentional. What I like about this one is the fact that Pan Am knows that Johnny took over. She's one of two people that know that Johnny took over. Interestingly enough, Pan Am is one of them, and then Rogue is the other one, which makes it very interesting to say the least. So I had hot cocoa. Yeah, somehow the back of my throat tastes like I just chugged a jar of pickle juice. Whatever. And I'm not gonna lie, that was the only reason I enjoyed the Temperance ending, was because this was around the time I first romanced Pan Am before my addiction kicked in. Yes, I do say that. I'm highly addicted to Pan Am as a whole. So I did the Sun ending, the Temperance ending, and then I did Pan Am's ending properly, or what I consider properly, with this character. So I got all of the endings except for the Devil ending with this character. Granted, my first ending I did was Pan Am's ending. I felt like I kind of had to, because you guys will recall I made a video talking about Cyberpunk is making me weird, was making me feel weird, and I'm the problem. I basically mentioned on how I had first romanced Judy, and I read somewhere that the endings, Judy can break up with you. But I didn't realize that it was only when you decide to stay in Night City. So the only way to keep her is if you do Pan Am's ending and you call her up on the rooftop. And I mean proper Pan Am's ending. I'm not talking about like asking Pan Am for help and then letting Johnny have your body, because that'd be Johnny's ending. But anyway, so what was I getting at? Oh yeah, the fact that I did my first ending was with Pan Am. So yeah, but this one as a whole is pretty, it's interesting, but it's also pretty weird, because I don't think anybody would just willy-nilly let someone take over their body permanently, because it's your body. Now, you have full right to do whatever you want, but I mean, would you really want something like that to take over your body? It just seems strange, you know? But I do like the fact that he's willing to change, you know? He's willing to change his crazy lifestyle for whatever. What I don't like though is the fact that they made it to where Johnny doesn't contact any of the romance options. I feel like at the very least Johnny could have said like, "Hey, this is Johnny, V. Let me take over their body. I'm so sorry it happened this way. If you don't want to talk to me anymore, that's fine." Or at the very least, like, if you play as male V and romance Carrie, at the very least, Johnny could have at least called Carrie and be like, "Hey, it's Johnny. Guess who stays?" Although that'd be weird because you just technically killed off his boyfriend. So that would be a bit weird. But hey, what would you rather have? A boyfriend or your ex-rocker? Or your ex-bandmate? Yeah, never mind. So yeah. Which, speaking of romances, now we move on to the best ending, in my opinion. Panam's ending. Pretty straightforward, the best one ever. I do like the fact that it kind of adds on more to the Panam V storyline. Kind of if you were to romance her. But what I also find weird is this is the only one where, what am I getting at? Judy and Panam are mad at you for wanting to stay in Night City. And put into perspective, let's use Judy as an example. So if you do the Sun ending, Temperance ending, and the Devil ending, your relationship with Judy breaks up. Whether it's, if you do it through the Sun ending and the Devil ending, she breaks up with you, or the Temperance ending, you unwillingly and just out of nowhere break up with her. So that means of the 4 endings, only one of them guarantees that you keep a relationship with Judy. But what I find interesting is with Panam though, if you do the Sun ending, her ending, obviously, she's willing to keep a relationship, although for the Sun ending, she's willing to, she says like she's gonna leave, but then she's like, "Look, I don't want to leave you, so whenever you're ready, I'll take you on a long ride." Very sexual, whatever. It's fucking amazing. But the other two, I don't know much about the Devil ending. I'm not really sure about that one. I'm not sure if Panam is just willing to stay. I know that technically you break up with Panam, although I don't think Panam breaks up with you, or you broke up with her because she's willing to hunt you down and rip you out of Johnny. Even though that doesn't work. Which kind of also raises a simple question for the Temperance ending. So, the biochip obviously is what kept V alive. But it is also what got them killed. Or it's also what's killing them. So if Johnny takes over V's body, could Johnny just safely take out the biochip? Or does it not work like that? Because technically it's done its job already. He could just take it out. Is that what happens? Oh, also want to add for the Temperance ending, I do love the memorial part. Although I heard somewhere that if you do his ending first, starting with Rogue, or if you storm Sokka Tower with Rogue and you get her pistol, then you obviously go to the memorial for Rogue and V. But if you do his immediately after with Panam, with asking the Aldecados for help storming Sokka Tower, there's still a memorial for Rogue. I don't know how true that is, if that's still true. but that's pretty confusing to think about. It makes no sense, but whatever. So yeah, so anyway, going back to Pan Am's ending, I also find it weird that this one could almost easily be missed. And I say almost because if you're one of those, if you're like me and like the first time you got to Nocturne OP55N1, you just stormed Arasaka Tower with Hanako without Takamura because I didn't know he could be saved. Then this is one of the two different endings that could easily be missed, or three, I guess. But yeah, but it's also the odd one out because either way, well, because one way of storming Saga Tower leads to two different endings, but asking Pan Am for help also renders two different endings. Never mind. I don't know where I was going with that. But even if you do like Don't Fear the Reaper, like you still have like that one gives you three different possible endings. That's a weird thing to think about. Is that my hair? Hold on. I felt something. I thought my hair was stuck in this lid. So yeah, otherwise, aside from my bias of this ending, it's pretty cool. It makes me cry every time, or not cry every time, but it makes me just want to hug someone every time. I remember the third or fourth time I got this ending, it was with the female and gotten Judy, and then I legit cried. It was so bad. Which a lot of people may not like the fact that I'm giving good credit to this game, but I'm not one of those assholes that... Well, not assholes, because that was a spur of the moment thing I said. But I'm not one of those people that just hyped it up and then all of a sudden it's like, this game sucks, because I didn't even think I'd get a PS4, to be honest, so... So yeah, but as a whole, I do like the fact that, because Judy and Pan Am are like my two top favorite characters of all time. And so I do love this ending just because you get to keep a relationship with those two. But yeah, I do think that there's barely any use for the basilisk. I do wish that there were a bit more in there, but whatever, you know. So yeah, I don't really care much about River and Carrie, so this is just the perfect ending for me. And I'm really loving the Nomad playthrough or Life Path, so I really love this ending. But yeah, that's all I can say without my unbiasedness towards Pan Am, or my biasness towards Pan Am. Unbiased. That's whatever. And then finally we have the Star ending. This one's alright, you know, it's not the best, but it's definitely not the worst. If I had to rank this one though, it's definitely number 2 on the list. Obviously Temperance is number 3, the Devil ending is number 4, and then Pan Am is number 1. But what I like about this one is it's a lot different, you know. You're obviously living a dream that you had from the start of the game, which was be a living legend. And it kind of shows through the fact that Johnny was actually wanting to help you by... It seems like it seems like Johnny overexceeded his promise because he just wanted to destroy Atom Smasher and Mikoshi, and in return you get rid of the chip. So that would be 2 benefits for Johnny, but instead you got rid of the biochip and you became a living legend of Night City, which is something everyone wants. But I guess. Which is weird. Your character wants that, but at the same time, they also hint towards the fact that they want to leave Night City, which seems weird. Oh, I think I swallowed something I should not have. Oh, that felt weird. Um, so yeah, overall, it's pretty confusing. I've only done this ending once, and I romanced Pan Am, so I might have to go back. I'm gonna have to go back and romance Carrie, and then do his thing. Um, but yeah, I don't see why not. You know. Um, yeah. And in case you guys are sitting here wondering, I would never do an ending with River because Judy is 10 times better than River. And Pan Am is 1,000 times better than Carrie, but I am willing to let. No, I probably won't. I probably won't do it with Carrie. I there's two people I cannot stand being a side piece, and that's Judy and Pan Am. I remember whenever I was doing my first Street Kid ending, and the first time I romanced Carrie, which at this point is the only time because I haven't extended that a bit. I originally planned on doing the star ending with Carrie, basically leaving Pan Am as a side piece, but I was like, I cannot for the life of me. I even took things slow, which was a very interesting way of going at it. But speaking of which, I have a lot of details I can't obviously put in this video because my phone's about to die. But I kind of have thoughts about romancing or romances in this game, so I have a lot to say. Well, not a lot, but just enough. Which may seem like a perverted thing, but who knows? Maybe you guys can look for whatever you're interested in. And kind of give, because no one really has thoughts on this sort of stuff except your boy. Yeah. The Sun ending as a whole is pretty good. I do like the fact that Claire shows up. I'm not gonna lie, Claire is one of the best. I still have yet to do her street races. I need to, because I heard that Beast is an amazing vehicle. But whatever, right? Yeah, the only confusing thing was, this was one of those I was genuinely confused by the ending because there's no way of. I understand that that's the point of there's no way of knowing if V gets out of it alive, but you would think that'd be the case, right? Because there's no way of hearing whether they died or not. So that's pretty much it. Trying to think, was there any other thoughts that I had for different endings? Not really. I guarantee you, once I'm done with this video, I'm gonna have so many different thoughts about. Oh, I should have said this during the Pan Am ending. Oh, speaking of Pan Am ending, I don't like the fact that Teddy and Bob died, because Teddy is an amazing character, and I've taken somewhat of a liking to Bob. Saul, I never really. Okay, going back to the whole Pan Am death or ending part, Pan Am's scream whenever Saul is in danger and then dies gave me what I imagine PTSD is like for 3 hours. It was insane. I say 3 hours or 3 days. It was bad. It gave me what I imagine PTSD is like. That scream haunted me forever. And the worst part was, that day it started haunting me, I was about to beat the game with Pan Am again for the 6th time already, or however many times I've been Pan Am, or be in the game with Pan Am. So it was fucking weird, and it just sucked. See, I guess note to self, don't constantly do Pan Am's ending, but I can't because my addiction just feeds in aggressively. I had to stop an entire female gameplay with romancing Judy with the intention of beating this game as a female since my addiction with Pan Am, and had to stop entirely because the whole conversation with Pan Am just got awkward. Granted, I do think that Male V talking to Judy is awkward, but whatever. So yeah, if that doesn't show you how addicted I am. And I was already at Nocturne OP55N1. I had Judy romanced. I've gotten all the Pan Am stuff. All I needed to do was get the proper outfits, and I would have been ready to beat the game. But no, my addicted ass was like, no, I need to romance Pan Am right now. So, that's what happened. Yeah, I got nothing else to say. Who knows? Maybe in the next video where I talk about romances, if I decide to do that, I might. Just because it's something different, and it kind of adds more than Fallout, so I might talk about that. Plus, the romance options obviously impact the game a bit in some way, so yeah, I have to watch a lot of videos with river romances, Carrie romances, river ward endings, Carrie Uridine endings, a whole bunch of stuff, because I am not going to go through that goddamn stress of having to deal with fucking Elizabeth Peralez and River, and then friend zoning and taking it slow with Pan Am. I can't deal with that. So, with that being said, I guarantee you there's something I missed. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like down below. Comments, what is your favorite ending and why? And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And if you do subscribe, hit that bell notification to be notified as to when I upload, because I don't have a goddamn schedule. Lose the Manic, out.